everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about the worst driving mistakes and horrible habits to avoid on the road. The things that I will be talking about in this video are literally the worst things that you can do as a driver. They're horrible habits and they cause accidents every day and they cause bad driving every day. So let's get right into the video. There are 9 specific things that I will be outlining. Number 1 is leaving on time, or even worse, leaving late, okay? So when you are leaving your home, and you put your address into the GPS, the place that you want to go, you put your destination into the GPS, and it says it's gonna take 22 minutes to get there, for instance. Just like right now, where I'm headed, it actually said it was gonna take 22 minutes to get there. And you leave 22 minutes before you gotta get there, that's bad. Because you're gonna be in a rush. First of all, nobody likes getting anywhere right on time. And secondly, there could be a little bit of extra traffic that causes, the extra 2 or 3 minutes, and you're gonna be rushed. And rushing causes accidents. So leaving on time, or even worse, leaving late, is horrible. By far, probably the worst driving mistake that you can make, by far. Okay, moving on to number 2, following too closely. Now, there is a safe following distance that you should keep between your car and the car in front of you. If you follow too closely, it's going to cause some problems. I'll tell you why. If the person in front of you brakes, and you even have the slightest bit of a delayed reaction, you're probably going to rear-end them or come close to rear-ending them. And that means you're going to have to slam on your brakes even harder than they slammed on their brakes, okay? Which means that you're going to have a higher chance of yourself getting rear-ended. So don't follow too closely, just maintain the proper following distance. The guy in front of me, or girl, I don't know what it is, the person in front of me just slammed on their brakes right now. Luckily, I'm a good distance away, so I didn't even have to slam on mine. I just eased onto my brakes right there, okay? Number 3 is not adjusting for the road conditions. If you are driving, okay, it is unbelievably important to adjust and adapt according to the road conditions. Meaning, if it's snowing, you gotta slow down. If it's raining, you gotta slow down. If the sun is shining in your eyes, you gotta slow down. If it's foggy, you gotta slow down. If you're on a dirt road and there's less traction than usual, you gotta slow down, okay? Adjust according to the road conditions. If the road conditions become unideal or worsen, you gotta slow down. And everything's gotta be smoother, but the main thing is you gotta slow down. And not adjusting for the road conditions is by far one of the worst mistakes that you can make. Number 4 on the list is not following the right-of-way rules, okay? So literally, there are rules in place for who has the right-of-way. And those rules allow accidents to be avoided. They allow drivers to be predictable themselves, and they allow drivers to predict what other drivers will do. If you don't follow those rules, it's going to be a problem. Even if you're being courteous to someone else. If you go to a stop sign and you clearly have the right of way, but you say to this person, go, 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 you're letting them go, even though it's your right of way, it can cause an accident. And I know you're being nice, but driving is not about being extra courteous. Driving is about following the rules that are in place to avoid accidents, okay? Be nice in everything else in life, but when you're driving, follow the rules, especially the right-of-way rules, okay? Number 5, one of the worst things that you can do is driving distracted. You gotta be focused on the road. Now, of course, you can have let's say, as long as it's legal, right? You can have a hands-free phone call and not be distracted. You can talk while the camera's recording you and not be distracted. You can adjust your radio controls and not be distracted. But when you're on your phone like this, when you're checking on yourself in the mirror, checking your hair, obviously I don't have any, when you're doing things that are severely distracting, taking away your focus from the road, that's gonna be a problem. Don't drive distracted, okay? Interestingly enough, what I found is that when I'm actually talking to my camera while I'm driving, I actually am a bit of a safer driver than usual because I'm like extra honed in on what's happening with the road. If I'm just driving normally, I'm like paying attention to the road, but when I'm recording, I know that I have to pay extra attention to the road, and like I avoid accidents. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, I avoid accidents like no tomorrow. Like people cut in front of me and I brake way earlier than I would usually brake because I'm so like laser focused on avoiding accidents, knowing that I have to be because I'm talking to a camera, okay? Number 6 is looking too closely in front of the car. Okay, here's the thing. When you're driving, you gotta look far ahead in front of your car. If you look too closely, buddy, I'm making a video on not falling too closely, and you're falling too closely. What's wrong with you? Can you see that in the back? What's wrong with you, bro? Back up, man. Calm yourself. What's wrong with these people? Go watch a couple of my videos, brother. Learn how to drive. Sorry. This guy behind me is like, I don't know if you can see right there. He's following like so closely. Come on, man. Get a life. Anyways, when you're driving, you gotta look far ahead in front of your car. Not only will that help you with steering, but it's gonna tell you what's happening in advance. If I'm staring in front of my car, directly in front of my car, and the person up ahead slams on their brakes, I won't be able to see it until they come right in front of my car, which would mean that I might be rear-ending them, okay? But if I'm looking far ahead, I'm gonna see brake lights earlier, I'm gonna see road hazards earlier, I'm gonna see everything much earlier, okay? And that's why it's a safer bet to look far ahead, and looking closely in front of your car is a huge mistake. Number 7, speeding. Don't drive too fast. Listen, I was a young man at one point, just got my license, you know, and obviously you touch the accelerator pedal and you're like, wow, this is amazing. But at the end of the day, you know, that lasted for a couple days, and then the novelty wore off, and I understood that you need to drive at an appropriate speed, okay? Speeding is really dangerous. It's actually one of the most, in my opinion, overestimated dangers. Like, people think it's unbelievably dangerous, but if you're speeding, I'm not even gonna go there. It's dangerous, okay? Like, if you want to speed, do it on a track, and I'll tell you why. The act of speeding, driving your own car at a fast speed, is usually not extremely dangerous. But the problem is that other people around you make it dangerous because you're speeding with other people around you, right? Someone doesn't signal, you don't see them switching lanes, and boom, because you're going too fast, you hit them. And yes, they didn't signal, but you're also speeding. So at the end of the day, speeding is dangerous. It's a really bad driving mistake. Do I believe that many people overestimate its danger slightly? Yes, but it's still something that you should avoid. It is, in my opinion, just as bad as distracted driving. Speeding is ridiculously dangerous and should definitely be avoided. Number 8, this is, in my opinion, probably a little bit even more dangerous than speeding. That's not signaling, okay? If you don't use your signal, you are failing to communicate with other drivers, okay? And when you fail to communicate with other drivers, you are going to encounter some problems. Use your signal. Look, you can hear mine. I think in the time that I've been driving in my whole life, which is more than 15 years so far of driving, I think I've failed to signal 5 times, completely by accident. And because it's so accidental, I realized, like, I'm like, wait a second, I don't hear the signal clicking, right? So it is, like, in my opinion, it's one, I would rather you signal and, like, I'd rather you signal and make every other mistake on this list almost than not signal. That's how important I view it as. Plus, you're gonna get other drivers angry when you don't signal. Drivers like myself, okay? Anyways, not signaling, horrible mistake. Last but not least, number 9, which is just as bad as speeding. Number 9 is driving too slowly. If you're driving too slowly, sure, you're gonna be safer because you're driving at 20 kilometers an hour on the highway where the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour. But here's the thing, everyone's going to be honking at you, trying to pass you, trying to overtake you in frustration, and that puts everyone else on the road at risk. So yes, you're safer, but everyone else is at risk, and that's horrible. You're creating your own safety while risking, you know, hundreds of other people. Like, that's not a good ROI when you think about it. Don't drive too slowly. If you can't drive the speed limit, honestly, give up your license and just don't drive. Like, I don't get it. I see people driving and I'm not talking about a little too slowly. I'm not talking about going 40 and a 50, okay? I get that. That happens we all do that sometimes. I'm talking about going 10 and a 50. If you drive like that, I'm sorry. With all due respect, you should not be driving. I am absolutely... Just go for a jog. You can hit the 10 kilometers an hour if you jog at the right speed, right? And you're going to be fit and healthy and ripped with abs. Anyways, driving too slowly, horrible idea. Horrible idea, one of the worst things that you can do. And that's basically it. Those are the worst driving mistakes and horrible habits to avoid on the road. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.